Well, welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing. I think we'll start over here. Yeah. I guess I didn't click the button or we didn't get going. I don't know. We were going on along there. Well, welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News. We don't have Jack here tonight. Jack is with his family. His aunt had a double kidney transplant. We had figured, and her body's rejecting him. So we wish those guys, our prayers are with those guys. 7:15, we're going to have Ricky Dennis on from Arena Racing. Let me just click this way so it doesn't overwork the thing. Ricky Dennis from Arena Racing. Their season's getting ready to start up. I've raced it the last few years. Yeah. Joe's actually an official at Arena Racing. And it's a great sport to go and watch, and it's a tremendous amount of fun. It's super entertaining for somebody that wants to watch.
Best 2.5 hours of racing you'll see
for $10 or $15.
Yeah.
7:30 we got Jefferson Hodges. That is I'm not sure what his exact title is. He's like vice president or president of a competition for Rev Racing, which is a diversity program for NASCAR, and they just had their combine at Langley Speedway a few weeks ago, so he's going to kind of give us a report of how things went there a few weeks ago, and kind of curious if who's out and who's in. I know everybody, so far as us on this side of the order, is kind of waiting to see if our friend Macy Causey is getting in. We hope she does and does well. If not, but she still has a bright future. She's still very young. She was the youngest participant in the combine at 15 years old, so we can't wait to see or hear if she did or she didn't.
But she's got a few more years that she can still.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's got plenty of time. She's very young and very talented. She's a little quiet.
Yeah.
But we wish her well, and we can't wait to hear. Maybe Jefferson can. Maybe he can elaborate. It ain't gonna stop us from asking.
Give us an inside scoop on what's going on.
Right from the horse's mouth. But I knew they had to wait because Mike Hilton wasn't able to be at Langley Speedway. They had Brett Bodine. There were several big NASCAR people there watching to kind of give their take on who they thought would be a good candidate. And it's not just on how fast you can go. If you've listened to the prior shows, it's not just how fast you can drive a race car. It's how much improvement they think they see in you, how well you do with PR.
Yeah, your marketing.
Which is pretty neat for Hampton University to get involved and do that stuff. It's kind of neat. But this weekend had a couple great races. Yeah. We talk about Eric Jones being in a Cup car this weekend. He won the truck race, ran well in the Xfinity car. And man did a really good job in the Cup car. I can't remember where he ended up, but I want to say he was in the top 10 and ran 7th or 8th most of the race.
Right.
So he did a really good job, and I'm telling you, that kid has a super bright future. And he's going to run some Cup races next year. I know he's going to be full-time Xfinity racing for Joe Gibbs Racing next year. So you got to give a shout out under the circumstances for that kid to do a really good job.
Right.
A couple other people got to give a shout out to our local, friends and family. Rick Godovic, the 55. I can never think of his team name. Performance.
Yeah.
Rick's going to get mad at me. He's going to slap me like that cartoon that he put on his Facebook of not going to one of his Verizon stores. I thought that was just so funny. But the 55 team with the I can't remember the kid's name now. From out of the country is going to come and run the last 2 races. So he's going to run Phoenix and Homestead. So Rick's team's getting back to the racetrack. Glad to see that. Curious of what their plan is for next year. I thought about messaging Rick and finding out. And then we got to give a shout out to Matt Waltz. Says he's going to be in the 70 Derek Cope car. So I know he's not on the entry list. Derek Cope is, but I believe that he has said he's going to be in the car, and he deserves another chance because at Richmond when he
had some tough luck.
He had some tough luck, and it wasn't of his own doing, and it was just a car stuff and didn't go well.
I know he does an awesome job at Langley, so wish him nothing but best.
Yeah, now he's done a great job at Langley Speedway. I mean, he's won a bunch of races. I think last year he didn't run full time. He didn't win the championship, but he won twice as many races as about anybody else did.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop our Periscope. We ain't got Joe's the only one watching.
Oh, no, now you cut me off.
So cool. But yeah, it does a great job at Langley Speedway. And great to see him get another opportunity to kind of, and hopefully it goes well compared to
That'll be
Langley
a good track
Speedway.
for him too. You know it.
Yeah, it's a nice flat track, kind of like Langley Speedway.
Yeah.
So hopefully it does well, and I wish him great luck, and hopefully he can drum some interest and maybe do a few more races, or hopefully get in a better situation. I mean, and thanks to Derek Coate for giving him an opportunity. I know he's kind of been working on that. I mean, it's not a top tier team, so your expectations have to be within reason, and a top 30 would be a win for those guys.
Mm-hmm. Which is the seat time, the experience that he's going to get out of it. Oh yeah. Exposure.
And you have to run some of those racetracks. We'd love to get Brett Bodine on one time to talk about that, because he controls that whole being approved for different tracks. You have to run on these tracks, and they have to watch you and see how well you do, and then approve you for other tracks. But Texas. So we got. I mean, it was a very entertaining race.
Yeah.
Tires. Joey Logano.
He, of course, his accident I think caused some of the tire issues too, because I think there was still a lot of debris on there.
It could have been. I mean, I do know on that last stop for Harvick, that last flat, that right rear that was flat, that was a puncture with debris.
Right.
That wasn't from the tire going out, because it only had like 13 laps on it, and they seen the hole in it where it was punctured. But tires were an issue. A couple of them were wearing the left rears out, and it was cording. It was pulling the cord off of the tire. I've seen on a few of them.
Did you see the one that on Dale's car? Whoops. Hey, Joe forgot to turn his phone off. Rule number 1 in a TV show. Oh, God.
But the race was fun, but I did see that one where you seen the cord was coming off the tire.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't going to be long from there. And what that is when the tire wears down, it has cords in it, and it wore down to the cords, and it pulls that cord. And that's what was happening. It was uncording it.
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear what Goodyear was saying Monday. And
Yeah. And poor Joe Logano. And I know, did you see the zinger that Matt Kenseth he texted? I don't remember what the word. And Matt is actually a very funny guy. Right. He is kind of quiet, but he does have those zingers, and that was kind of a shot at Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth. And the big thing is their deal is over now.
Right.
They're moving forward, and
let's get back to racing.
Yeah, and Joey's only chance is winning Phoenix and Brad. And I thought Brad was going to do it. I mean, it was. I thought halfway through the race you could just go on and give him the trophy, because he was in. And I mean, if I had to pick and choose which Penske car I had a chance to race for the championship, I'd rather race Brad than Logano, because now Logano is bad fast and has been. But man, that last last caution with debris and Jimmy, I mean, he came out like a cannon. And it was funny, if you watch Race Hub, they had some of the in-car audio, and on that last caution, Canals come over and was like, "Look, Jimmy, don't save no tires. I want you to go as hard. Those guys have got to be conservative, and we don't. Right. So don't you get up on the wheel." And he did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he didn't wreck him, and he raced him clean.
I was curious if he was just staying back and waiting for the right moment, or if he just got his car dialed in a little bit better towards the end there, and Brad was pulling off, because I mean he blew by him like he was sitting still.
Well, I think Brad was trying to block and then slowed his momentum, and then Jimmy kind of got a run, and it just sort of magnified at that point. And of course, after he got by, I mean he was definitely faster than him.
Yeah.
After he got by, he just sort of pulled away, and it added drama to it, and how much I felt bad for Brad. And Brad handles it great.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a Brad Kolowski fan, but I love Brad I love his honesty.
Yeah.
And him in the 78 kind of bumped there on that last caution, a few laps into that green run there, and went over and talked to him, and it was all good. It was just racing, and that was great to see. But I love Brad's passion.
I think I told you this once before. I like to listen to him on the scanner because he communicates with his spotter and his crew chief every single minute of that race. And it's awesome the way he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really get excited.
No.
And he has a lot of confidence in Paul.
Right.
I can't think of his last name, Paul. But I mean, why not? Because he's done well every time. So why would you not? It's almost like Jimmy doubting Chad Kanowsk. I mean, when Chad tells you something, you can pretty much take it to the bank, or it has the last 10 years for those guys.
It was great for Jimmy because 20 races? It's been 20 races. How many races had it been?
I don't know. I know it's his 5th straight win in the fall at Texas.
Yeah. So
I don't know how many races he's won there, but I mean, 5 in a row in the fall.
Ouch.
And he had kind of flirted there in the top 10 late in the race, and then he just shot out of a cannon there at the end. All right, we got Ricky Dennis here calling in.
From 804.
All right, tonight we got Ricky Dennis calling in. Ricky, how you doing?
Hey, doing good. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing great.
We're doing great. So we got arena racing coming up here soon. So how's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. Man. Exciting to get another season underway. I can't believe we've been around this many years already, but we continue to learn, continue to hopefully grow and do positive things.
How long has arena racing been around? When did you first come up with the idea?
1992 at a hockey game here in Richmond, Virginia.
1992.
Believe it or not.
So how long from when you come up with the idea to seeing a car on a racetrack?
Well, we actually raced in 1993 on a $48,000 wooden racetrack. It's got the same exact banking as the track does now in the Coliseum.
Okay.
For 1 year, it had 51 cars by the 3rd race with no suspension, racing on golf cart tires, and running about 9.3 second laps, 901s, baby. It was kind of crazy. But at the end of that season, the track needed to be thrown away and through some other issues that we didn't continue on.
So this year you got Robbie Allison. That's going to be kind of cool to have him come to our sport and bring some notoriety. I think. How did he hear about arena racing? Ricky?
Well, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit the mute button. I'm sorry. It wasn't Robbie that originally called. It was Laurie Rainier.
Okay.
Back in the day, there was a guy named Harry Rainier that owned the car that Davey drove, Neil Yarborough drove, and Bobby Allen drove, and actually Lenny Polly drove a little bit more, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Laurie just reached out, and we talked, and said that they're the people that got famous, I guess you could say, Robert Yates and a bunch of those guys that got famous through not being connected with Davey and just fast rides started too. So they want to get behind Robbie. And Robbie, as a kid, raced just a little bit. And he was like 1 or 2 when his dad died.
Mm-hmm.
And when I guess he was maybe 8 or 10 years old, and he was racing something and he flipped, and his mom said, "You're not going to race anything until you get out of college and you make your own decision." So he's out of college now and racing like a street soccer or something like that. Kingsport and up in Holly Rim up in Nashville where he lives. But they want to get him involved with arena racing because they said, it'd be great test and great learning for his future, fast reaction time, fan interaction, signing autographs, getting a microphone stuck in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And when people do get involved with arena racing and come stand race and drive them, they realize it really is real racing. And there's a lot of things that you can take with you outside. And it's been really cool to hear the people that race outside after racing in arena racing and said how much arena racing helped them because racing outside slower, and he's doing things in slow motion. And so there are a lot of good things. So they thought this would be an important step, and I was very proud to get that phone call and work out something to get a guy to buy a car and him to drive and put on and do it together. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it is going to be pretty cool to have him there, and I will say, the arena is a lot harder than some people presume it to be.
Absolutely.
I was talking to Paul Fisher, the Rage kart dealer, and he was saying, that some of the kart guys that he knew that were really good kart drivers got in the arena, and he said, I kept waiting for him to win a bunch of races, and he said, it must be really hard. I said, it is. And I mean, it's probably one of the toughest little things that I've driven, and which is good because it does prepare you for something bigger. If that's the hardest, everything else has got to be a little bit easier.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's great experience for a lot of the pieces of the sport, driving and, like I said, fan interaction and sponsor representation and a lot of things as this thing grows. So, like I said again, I'm just really proud that they chose us to get involved with. I'm excited going to meet Robbie Thursday night, see what those guys will bid on Friday too, because I had not met Robbie before. I knew his dad, but never had met Robbie.
Right, and then Rainier is actually, he just retired from being a spotter on the one car for Jamie McMurray.
Right, yeah, he's actually going to really start growing his driver development part of it. He's always been known as the driver development part of it. He's the one who brought Davey to his dad's car, and Harry wasn't a big fan of it at first, but Robbie, Lawrence missed it of it. Of course, it's a great move for Harry. Well, so the Lawrence looking to build that, look for future drivers as well. So he's also, I believe, excited to come up and see our racers and see what we do. So he's going to like a whole lot what he sees.
So what do we got? What are we doing? Or what's coming up for this year? I know we got some different starting times and stuff. So what's the change for this year?
Well, the starting times is probably a big part of it. Like going to Saturday afternoon races is something I'm not going to say bad, but I wish the guys at the Coliseum would have told me to take a look at that years ago even. Back in February, I wanted to go to the monster truck event at Circuit, but I like to go to those things to see what they're doing and learn from the professionals that they are. And only two shows I could get to for both of them were Saturday afternoon shows. And when I got there, it was packed. It was all their fans. They were fans and kids, and I'm going like, oh my gosh, and here in Richmond, so many people don't like to go downtown, for one, and they especially don't like going downtown at night. So that addresses that. And then, in the wintertime, restaurants, those places are really, really busy. And people have plans on Saturday night and Friday night, but we can get them in there on a Saturday afternoon if it works, and great. People still have their plans that night too. And, I've got 100% positive response, sponsors, and fans, and even the teams too. And now, I have some great teams that come up from Hampton Road. There's family and friends who come up now for Saturday afternoon race and be home by dinner time.
So what time? What's the start time we're going to have for this year?
Well, in December we're actually, I might have messed up, but December is going to be a 2 o'clock start time.
Okay.
So one part of it was that way if they get out to their car at 4:30, they come to their meet and greet afterwards at 5 o'clock and it's dark. So they're getting to the car just to get started. But in January, we'll go to 3 o'clock, and then give them a little bit more time in the afternoon. They'll be out there at 5:30, time to go somewhere and have dinner if they want to.
Yeah, I think it'll be a neat to see how it all works. And what time is the garage and stuff going to open then?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. Chris said he said they noticed out, but people are getting there bright and early anyway. But one thing we're looking at doing is taking our practice times and turning them into qualifying time. So kind of gets everybody level playing field, and we'll eliminate qualifying, kind of shorten the day up a little bit for people. We'll see how that works. And
I think that's not a bad idea.
I think people will get in about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning and be gone by 6:30 in the evening. It makes for an early start, but it makes for a nice evening, that's for sure.
And then, the last couple of years, the kids class has really grown, and I think the whole splitting the heat races up there like you did, I think that was a great idea, and I think the kids like it. I think the fans like it. It give our the boy in that.
Oh, Jay.
Jay, I mean,
his confidence level this year is going to be out of this world, man.
I know. I mean, it was so nice to see
4 wins.
Him do so well, and they're such a great family.
Yep. So, what's the car count going to be, boss? Have you heard?
It was neat, to just allow another Mexican kid to win a race too. So, the most fun part about that kid class to me is watching the self-esteem level of those kids go through the roof. Yeah. And the life skills they're learning and they're finding autographs and talking to people. So many of them start the season off shy. By the end of the year, they're standing in front of their cars at mid-degree talking to people as they walk by. Their life skills that I don't think college or anywhere can teach them. I think it's a world just for my daughter. Being able to stand in front of people and sing, because I never even used to could sing. So, I mean, she didn't race, but being out there at this arena racing, it's done amazing things. It's really neat to see what it's doing for these kids.
Yeah, that brings up a good point, because I think, as we know, we have Jefferson Hodges coming on later with the Drive for Diversity, and they focus a lot on PR or being in the public eye, and the arena racing does that. You have to, when I say deal, but you deal with fans and signing autographs, and I think the earlier you can learn those things, I think it will make you a better race car driver and a better representative for a sponsor later on in life too.
Absolutely, totally agree. When you get Jefferson on, you kind of might not know, but the first 10 officials I had in Norfolk, Jefferson was one of them.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Absolutely. Yeah, Jefferson worked for me for years, and he put all his first cars together. He was one of the officials in Norfolk when we first got this thing started.
Well, what's the car count this year? Have you got those numbers yet?
No, I hadn't. And we still got a handful of people sitting on the fence, and a few people want to get started after the season starts. So we'll end up right at what we were last year, or a little bit more. And I think that thing's going to grow. I think once people realize, when Robbie comes in, the good part about Robbie coming to race with us, he's going to shine a brighter light on all of us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not just arena racing, but all the drivers. And I hope all our racers understand that, they're coming to us to help teach them how to race. So us as a whole, arena racing, all our teams, the car owners, everybody in that pit area is going to have an opportunity to help mold this kid into a future star and be part of that. So that's an exciting thing. And there's going to be a lot of people, I think, when they hear about this and the extra light that shined on us, we want to get involved with the racing with us. There's several news hubs that have already contacted me wanting to come and cover our race this year. And, there's one of the TV networks, the Lucas Oil folks, are looking to come down and do a race with us this year. They've got some show going On the Edge or something like that. But they want to learn more about what we're doing. So hopefully before the year is over, we're going to have some TV exposure popping in there with us too. And I'm real excited about that.
So, Ricky, have you gotten more interest in I know at one time you had a few of these things. Have you started getting some traction on maybe somebody wanting to do another franchise later?
Oh, yeah. I get a lot of emails and calls still on that. And, and basically my story this offseason has been, I will spend time talking with you after you come see a race. Mm. It seems like that interest has picked up. I don't know how people from around the world have found me to talk about this. So I've talked to somebody on every continent now. But, in the past, in 2008, we were in negotiations with 11 people over on 18th City when the financial world came to an end. But those calls are starting to happen again. And the good part is there's a lot of money that was spent back then on license agreements and franchise agreements. There's all this legal mess that you got to do with it. So all that stuff's in place now too. But my focus is Richmond, Virginia, and improving our own model and learning how to put people in the seats. And the thing that we have here that we didn't have in Hampton that I didn't know was a good old boy network. Mm-hmm. So it's fortunate to learn a lot on how we can help companies, when they get their tickets. And I'm, hopefully sooner than later we'll be able to come back down to Hampton Roads and come back and race again too, because we've got a lot of amazing fans down there. And a good point again for in the afternoon. Hopefully someone will get to come see us race when it's in.
Yeah. Now, what is tickets costing today, Ricky?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What does it cost for a family to come to the race? How much are tickets?
So ticket prices?
Yeah.
Well, general admission, you get a free kid with a painted dog. So a family of four can actually come for $24.
Okay.
Plus $28 for the box office. So, reserve tickets are $16.
Yeah. So
and the people they want to sit in their team section, we've got some links on our website where people can come by tickets and sit with their favorite teams as we start getting that program going. Where you get a free kid with a paid adult in reserve. That's the only place you get it on the team links. You can get that box office.
I got you. Yeah. I mean, there's not many places you can go for $15 or $16 and get 2.5, 3 hours of entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. People can come out early, come meet all the drivers if they want, but they don't have to, and then after break to get 20 minutes. But yeah, 2.5 hour show. Yeah, I still hear nothing but great things and great news from people that come. We just got to do a better job of letting them know when the next race is and get them to come back more often.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of little pieces that are coming together with that.
Yeah, it used to floor me that how many people would say, "How long have you been doing this?" Like it was their first. I can't tell you how many times it was their first time there, and that just really struck me that they had never heard of it before.
Right. Absolutely. The world is just so darn busy, especially when you're dealing with families with kids. Our kids are busier as kids than we ever were as adults, which is amazing to me. And, it's so hard to plan something too far out in advance because your kids will change the plans. If we get the kids saying, "Mom, I want to go back to the race," that's the part we keep pushing on.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
kids definitely love it.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea, and maybe is doing it sooner because a lot of those small kids are in bed by that time and that kind of stuff. Well, Ricky, we appreciate you calling in tonight and giving us a heads up of what's coming up with arena racing. I'm sure me and Jack and Joe will definitely be out there, and we'd like to maybe have you back on maybe in the middle of the season to see how the season's going and maybe there at the end.
Oh, we'd love to, man. Appreciate what you guys do for the sport because, we all got to jump in here together to help build this sport back up and build the sport back up, means filling those seats on TV as well, and seats at the local racetracks even more importantly. We've got to get this base built back underneath the sport for sure.
All right.
We're bringing a lot of people that have never been to a race before because they know where the Coliseum is, and they like racing, and so they're starting to go to other racetracks, which is a great thing. That's the end result we're looking for.
Right.
November 21st, opening day.
Go check it out, Arena Racing, the Richmond Coliseum.
We'll see you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah,
right.
We'll see you
Thanks,
Saturday.
All right, bud. Thank you.
All right, well, that was Ricky Dennis with Arena Racing. And it is truly a great little time. But I didn't know Jefferson.
That's funny.
We're going to call with Jefferson Hodges with Drive for Diversity Rev Racing. Jefferson Hodges, how you doing, bud?
Hey, good. How about yourself?
Good. This is Scott Allen with Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News. We're live. We got Joe Staples here. Jack has got some family stuff going on, so it's just us two. So it'll be a little quieter. Jack talks a lot. Well, we just learned something about you here with our guest we had on before. We had Ricky Dennis on, and he said that you were one of his first officials.
I was a flagman in the inaugural season down at Norfolk Scope.
How'd you like it?
I was also his best official.
He's had a few officials too, so that'd be saying something.
This will be Jefferson. This will be my third season with him.
Yeah, he does a good job, and that arena racing is a pretty neat little sport.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was when that deal that I like to tease him and tell him he was way ahead of his time. Everybody on this tiny house kick now, and Ricky's been racing tiny race cars for 20 years now. But it was a really neat thing, and we built a bunch of them up there one winter. up at Townsend, and you know, Ricky had this idea, and a lot of people thought he was crazy. And,
well, they still think he's crazy.
It's a fascinating idea, and well, yes, sir. It's a fascinating idea, and it's a great thing for these arenas to do with their downtime, and the way he's got that track designed to get in and out of there. It really is a neat thing.
Have you ever driven one, Rick? Jeffrey?
Yeah. We after we built like 68 of them in 3 weeks up there at Townsend, turnkey for the inaugural season, and the opening night, the original test there. There was a couple of us that had worked for him and Rick for quite a while, and we took the bodies off of them, and they let us drive them a little bit. And, I realized really quick that my place is built race cars and not driving. So I got right back out.
I tell you what, the first time I was there, I ran it for 3 or 4 seasons. I'm gonna tell you what, I mean, that's got to be it's just different than anything else. Nothing. People try to bring some big car stuff and put in it, and it's its own little beast.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's hung between being a go-kart and a full-size car, and you know, it definitely makes it special, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, it's actually packed racing for being such a small little racetrack. It's hard to find racing that's any better than that, honestly.
Yeah. So, well, I guess we'll get off of the arena racing ordeal, and so how did the combine go the other week, and how soon do you guys come out with a list?
Well, the combine went really well. Honestly, it was, you know, I know it seems like we say it every year, but it was the best combine we had. You know, the Speedway out there at Langley, and Chuck Hall and Bill Marlis, they always welcome us with open arms, and you know, you're not going to find a better looking racetrack anywhere in the country. And the city of Hampton really gets behind that deal, and every year they step their game up a little bit and do a little bit more for us, and not necessarily for us, but for the kids that are part of the combine. And you know, we had 23 drivers end up this year, and we shoot for 20, but the number of just extremely talented individuals that applied this year was so high that we just couldn't get to the 20 number that we wanted to. So we ended up with 23 of them, and you know, to be honest with you, they could the final decision lies in Daytona's hands, and they could honestly pick any of them that they wanted, and I'd be perfectly happy with it. I've never seen a group that's that talented, and the delta between the fastest one and the slowest one was I mean, next to nothing. So it was a good 3 days for sure.
Now, how many will they pick out of that? And I know it's probably going to be tough too.
The goal is to have 4 K&N drivers and 2 late model stock drivers. So that would, you know, obviously would be 6. But you have the 6 drivers we already had that filter into that equation that weren't part of the 23 that took place in the combine. Okay. We feel like, you know, those 6 that we can judge them and kind of gauge where they're at throughout the course of the year, so we don't make them participate in the actual combine itself. So, you know, there'll be 6 drivers. Will there be 6 new ones? It's hard to tell. I mean, there could be based off the talent that was there, but you know, it's not likely that we'll find 6 brand new ones. A lot of times, you know, we're not done developing the drivers that we have. So I would say a good solid number out of that combine will probably be, you know, somewhere around 4.
Okay.
So now, when those guys are picked, I know a lot of people have the perception, or a lot of parents have the perception, that once they get picked, that they don't have to pay for nothing anymore, and their child gets a salary and run and is on their way. But that's far from the truth, right?
Well, it's about half true.
Okay.
The program, the way it works, the way it's structured, is the only requirement they have is to relocate to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
We don't help them with their relocation fees, and we don't employ them. We will help them find work, and they are the race car is an open palette to them. If they can go out and find sponsorship and kind of develop and learn that side of the sport as well, then you know, then we reward them with 10% of whatever they bring in the door, like any other marketing company would.
Mm-hmm.
So there is incentive, and there is a possibility, and we've had drivers that have stayed a living off totally on their own to do that. You know, to me, it's a great incentive, but you know, not all of them make a very good effort to do that. And you know, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the racing and the testing and the travel, once they're part of the race team, we take care of 100% of the expenses. So there's no crash clauses. It doesn't matter. You know, we'd like them to not tear our cars up, but it doesn't matter if they do. It doesn't matter if, you know, if the motor happens to blow while they're driving it, they just walk away from it. We incur all expenses as far as racing and travel. So it's a true scholarship opportunity with a real catch. And that's the fact that, you know, they can make a living if they want to pursue the marketing side of it as well.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, and I think it is an important job for them to learn is the marketing side of it. I mean, we had Ryan Ellis on a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, and he was talking about how he was putting some packages together, but he went to school for that, I believe. And I think, you know, in some cases I keep preaching that I think that and the PR side of it is just as important as the actual being behind the wheel side of it.
Now, will there be people mentoring them during this process as well, too, for that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. We have a really good marketing company, an independent marketing company, Matchbook Creative. They're based out of Indy, and they help with all marketing and PR. They'll do everything from, you know, these drivers can take an idea to them, and they'll produce the sponsor deck for them. They'll assist them and even accompany them to the meetings or whatever they need. It's basically, as far as that side of it goes, the best way to describe it would be an internship program. And then obviously the racing, they're mentored heavily through the race team. And then there's also a whole other aspect is the physical training that they get from, you know, we have an on-site personal trainer that works them out 4 days a week. And he does everything from, you know, help them with their diet to their exercise, anything else they might need. He's a little bit of a life coach, and so there's 3 different sides of it. There's 3 pieces of the pie. You know, everyone, as far as the management side of those 3 divisions, is all got the same goal, and that's to get them to the next level. At the end of the day, you need a lot more than talent to get to the next level. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who you are, how good you are, if you don't have any kind of backing, whether you can back it yourself or convince a company to help you, you're never going to make it. So we can help them with becoming better drivers and better people, and we can get them, you know, to where they're healthy and physically fit, and Matchbook there can help, you know, train them and try to help point them in the right direction to find the money. And, you know, if they all do their jobs and they end up like Kyle Larson.
Yeah, I think you guys got a gem when you got Kyle Larson there for a while. I mean, that kid is just unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a diamond in the rough for sure.
And you guys not just only try to bring drivers into sports, also crew members too, correct?
Yep, we have a whole separate crew member development program. It had its own combine here in Charlotte at NASCAR's R&D Center.
Oh, okay.
And we basically our coach, Phil Horton, he travels. You know, I'm not going to say the country. He makes it out to about Texas, St. Louis type area. Definitely heavy hitter on the East Coast, all through North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Maryland. But what he does, he searches out athletes at colleges that are you know, really good athletes, but probably are not going to make it to the professional level. Whether it be that they're just not quite good enough of a football player, or it could be something as simple. We found a girl at our combine last month that was a volleyball player. And, you know, once you get out of college, if you're a volleyball player, there's not a lot of places you can go as a volleyball player to be a professional. So he searches these kids out and explains the program to them. And, you know, most of them don't even know what NASCAR or racing is. And he had a combine there, like I said, at the R&D Center. And he goes through a lot of the same paces that we do with the strength and agility stuff. And, you know, works them out pretty hard and trains them. And, you know, about half of them get invited to become a part of his program. And it's the same thing. You know, they get free training, which there's a lot of places that do what he does, but it's a cost. It's a school.
Right.
So they get to come to us, and it's a full 100% scholarship. And it doesn't take him long. He's really good at his job, and he's got them, going over the wall at the ARCA or truck level in a mere matter of months. It's really pretty impressive. And he's got them all the way up. One of his original students is a power carrier for Jeff Gordon, Rocco.
Oh, really? Rocco was in there? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's had some good ones. Ricky Williams, Rocco. He's got some really good ones now. A couple of them on Johnny Sauter's truck team. A couple on some of the teams over at Roush on Trevor Bain's car. He's got them all over the place. So he's done a really good job with it. And what's impressive to me is the turnaround time. I mean, he can take a volleyball player out of Johnson C. Smith University and have her on pit road and become Daytona in an ARCA race, no problem.
Well, that's cool. Now, how did we've been kind of like on the edge of our seat wondering how our girl did there, Macy Causey. I know she's the youngest. Is that right? She was the youngest to have been invited to the combine?
Yeah, she's the youngest by far that's ever been invited, and she was the youngest to attend this year by almost 3 years. So she did a really, really good job. I've known Macy's, grandma and her parents, especially her mom, for basically my whole life. They're from down there in Seaford, Virginia, where my family's from, and it was really neat. I kept having to remind myself that she was a 14-year-old girl. She's so well-spoken, and she handles herself so good that, I think a lot of people get confused and forget how young she really is.
Yeah.
But she did a really good job. She was plenty fast enough. She's got a lot of time left as far as her development. She's definitely made it into the final discussion as part of the, who's going to become part of the team or not. Whether she will or won't, I think she's already exceeded everybody's expectations at 14, and we're definitely going to try to help her out some kind of way, and help her parents kind of guide her. And there's a lot of snakes out there, and a lot of people that would like to scoop up on such young talent, and we're going to try to, worst case scenario, we're going to make sure that we kind of guide them and take care of them and make sure that they make good decisions for her, and that she makes good decisions behind the wheel. And I think she's gonna be all right. She's got a bright future ahead of her.
Yeah, I think so too. And just like you said, having to realize that she's only 14. I know she was pretty intimidated, and I know the car threw her off a little bit compared, with the different tires that y'all run compared to what she was used to over there. I know when Jack talked to her there, she was nervous, which is a good thing.
I mean, she was, and there's a lot of them in her same situation, but most of them are dealing with it at 18, 19, 20 years old, not 14. But
right.
She told me afterwards that I asked her what the difference is between her car and our car was, and of course, from the mechanic side of me, I'm hoping that she'll say, "Well, yours handled better." But she said it just, it felt funny, it felt weird, and I was like, "Well, what do you mean? What felt weird about it?" And she looked me dead in the eye and she said, "That's the first time I've ever driven a car that my parents didn't own, and it just felt weird being in it." And you lose track of that sometimes, but that's a huge step for a 14-year-old girl to come down there, and her parents were outside the racetrack, not allowed in, and she's down there by herself, and gets in his car, and she knew me, but I was really probably the only one in that infield that she really knew, and she did a good job. It's probably the first time in her life that all eyes have been on her. Normally you go out there, and even on a regular day when you go to test, there's at least somebody else out there.
Yeah.
And she was on that track all by herself in somebody else's car, and I thought she did a great job.
Yeah, I had to be hugely. I can't imagine being 14 and being in that position, and the intimidation of all these other kids that have a lot more experience. Some of them had done it before or come from there, and I can imagine the other way around too. Everybody's looking at her because, man, she's a young kid, just trying to take my job, or we're fighting for the same job. But like you said, she's got a bright future, and she's got plenty of time.
Yeah,
time is on her side.
That's the biggest thing she's got. She's got so much time that she doesn't need to get in a rush. And, she can still enjoy being a kid and going to school and hanging out with her friends. And she's got years left in her racing career. And it's something that you have to remind them every now and then. But she's one of few that has time on
So now you said you guys will pick 6 candidates. Now, will each one of those 6 people have a full-time ride, or is some of them, do they split a ride?
No, it's all every one of them. Each K&N driver will have they actually have 2 cars at their disposal. So each one of those 4 K&N drivers will have 2 cars, and they're guaranteed to run the full season. And then, there's kind of an open-ended book the other side. If they want to go out and run some West races, whether it be Phoenix or Sonoma or wherever it might be, we'll do that for them. That's not part of our schedule, so we do, kind of look for some sponsorship help to do those things. But it's there and it's available to them. As far as the late model drivers, we actually have 3 late model cars, and we only choose 2 drivers. So they each have their own car, their own seat. It's theirs for the whole year. And, we shoot to run it 15, 18 times, kind of just depending on the track schedules and who's racing where. But it's their car all year, and they're guaranteed at least 15 races. And like I said, we shoot for about 18. I think we ran 16 this year. Like the third late model would be what we would use if we feel like one of our K&N drivers needs a little bit more development, or, there's somebody that we stumble across throughout the year that maybe either didn't apply for the program or did, that we were unaware of their ability. And, sometimes we just want to see a little bit more out of somebody, and we might, give them a call and ask them to come run a race here or there with us, and, run a couple extra races with that third car. But the 6 drivers that are part of the program are guaranteed a full season no matter what.
Okay. Now, do they get to pick, like the late model drivers, do they get to pick what racetrack they're going to run, or do you guys pick and choose some tracks that you would like to see those guys develop on?
Yeah, no, we make all the decisions as far as that goes for them. They're signing up to be developed, so that's kind of what we do. Okay. And our schedule for the late models is pretty cut and dry when you really look at it. We run the first 4 or 5 races. We tend to run at Hickory Motor Speedway. It's only about an hour from the shop. It's close. It kind of lets them get their feet wet. Most of them are not coming from this kind of racing, so it takes them a couple races to kind of get going and to understand, the car and the crew and just everything about the whole situation. So Hickory tends to not be near as competitive as a lot of other tracks. Their car count's kind of low. It's a friendly racetrack. There's a lot of room to make mistakes, and it's a good place for them to kind of learn. And then we switch gears and usually head down there to Hampton and run at Langley throughout the summer. The weather is perfect. It's always like 198% humidity, so it's a good place to be. Yeah. So we go down there, and what we tend to do is we do a lot more testing at Langley than we do at Hickory, but it's a pretty long trip for us, about 6 hours from the shop. So we just make a weekend of it and practice all day on Friday, and then we'll race. And what our goal is, we run there a little bit, but really and honestly for the crew guys to kind of get used to the track and the weather changes, and what is the track going to do at night compared to what it did during the day? Because the K&N race was coming there at the end of June. So we filtered a lot of our K&N crew chiefs through to help with the late model program that first part of June. That kind of gives them a better idea. And then once the K&N race is over at Langley, it's all about the Hampton Heat. So we just spend, the rest of the time that we have between the K&N race and the Hampton Heat testing and racing as much as we possibly can. Okay. Went down there this year and finished 6th with Colin Cabry, and it was a really, really good showing for him. And I think it was honestly the kind of momentum and the confidence he needed to finish out his season. But so once the Hampton Heat's over, usually our time at Langley is about done until the combine, and we bring it on back to Hickory and take the competitiveness of Langley and bring it back to Hickory and try to cash in on it and run the last, whatever it might be, 6 or 7 races of the year there.
Yeah, you talk about Colin. He did a really good job at Langley Speedway, and we've had him on a few times, and what a nice young kid.
Yeah, he really is. He's a good kid, and he's totally bought into our program. I think he lost 27 pounds there this year with Coach.
Oh, really?
He markets himself really well, and he's really, really adapted well to the media. And, you know, he wasn't a very good interview at the beginning of the year. He was young, and he hadn't done a lot of stuff like that before. And he's really worked hard on that. And obviously, you know, his racing speaks for himself. Like I said, I feel like the Hampton Heat was kind of a turning point. He was one of our K&N drivers, but we felt like, you know, he needed a confidence booster, and he needed to be able to revisit somewhere and kind of learn the track a little bit. So we took him down there to Langley a couple times, and like I said, he finished sixth, and I think he turned that in the very next week to a ninth place run out in Iowa, fourth at VIR, and ended the season winning at Dover. And you know, I honestly believe it all started with the Hampton Heat.
Okay. So yeah, I forgot that he had won Dover. I mean, that had to have been. Was this his first year with you guys?
Yeah, it was his first year with us. He was honestly a pure stock car rookie. He came off of sprint cars on the dirt, so
okay.
He just, you know, everything about it was new to him. Having a window net, a windshield, just things that we take for granted. Stock car racing all the time. You know, the tires were half the size, the car was twice as heavy. He had a lot to learn, and you know, no pit stops obviously in sprint cars. They don't qualify like we do. They do a lot more heat race type stuff. It was just a huge learning curve for him, and like I said, he adapted to it really well. He struggled at the beginning of the year, but he never didn't finish a race, and that was the biggest thing. You know, like a lot of these kids, you know, can be fast and be competitive, but if they don't finish, they're losing a ton of laps of experience as far as their career is concerned. And he did a really good job of finishing every race. I think the only one all year he didn't finish was Bristol, and it wasn't his fault. He had a blown tire. But you know, he just cashed in on it. At the end of the year, you know, he ran a huge percentage of the laps compared to a lot of the other rookies. And when it came time to, you know, to put it all on the line there at Dover with no practice, no qualifying, never seen the racetrack, you know, he started 11th, and he was in the lead pretty quick and never looked back.
And was that his first time at Dover? Because Dover can be a pretty intimidating place. I mean, that place is pretty fast.
Yeah, everywhere he raced this year was his first time he'd ever been there. You know, a lot of these kids are, you know, from a little bit closer to the area and you know, have the benefit of actually being to some of these tracks before. But before the season started, he had seen New Smyrna because he's from down there in Tampa, and he had seen Langley at the Combine. And those were the only two tracks we raced on all year long that he'd even seen before. That's what that's been on.
So I mean, you guys K&N program had done pretty well this year. You won 2 races with Sergio at VIR. We were there filling in for what's the kid's name? I guess he's doing well now.
Beasley.
Yeah, Beasley. Yeah. So I mean, I guess you guys got to feel confident that you guys won 2 races this year, that your program's doing well. And I mean, I got to give it to Colin for first time on the racetrack and never being there, and first time in a stock car for the season and win at Dover. That's huge especially against those those 5 teams that H. Scott's Motorsports has got over there. I mean, anytime you can beat those guys, I mean, you've done something.
That's right. Anytime you can beat them, you've really accomplished something. They have they've got really, really good people working over there, and they have a really nice budget that helps a ton. But he did a great job, and it was, as far as Rev's concerned, it was our 6th season in a row of multiple win seasons. So,
okay.
Not even the H. Scott guys can say that. It was, it's a pretty big deal for us. It's something we're really proud of. You know, the first win was good because we wanted to at least keep that, you know, at least a win every year streak alive, and then to end over with another win. And you know, it's not just a winning streak; it's a multiple race winning streak that stretched for 6 years. That's all the way back to Darrell Wallace, who's obviously doing pretty well for himself now. So,
yeah,
you know, it's something for not only the company to be proud of, but if you look at the drivers that have won races with us, you know, Darrell Wallace, Kyle Larson, Daniel Suarez, but it's definitely proven itself time and time again that we know what we're doing. We're developing winners, and then they're taking what we teach them and going on to the next level and making pretty good careers for themselves.
Yeah, and you know, you talk about having 6 multiple win seasons. I mean, I got to say, probably even more so gratifying, you've done that not with just the same drivers. You've done that with rookies or new kids, you know, every year. Or so I mean that just got to be that
Hats
much
off to you
more.
for the program.
Yeah, and the program is working.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only, Darrell Wallace won in his rookie year, Kyle won in his rookie year, Daniel Suarez won in his rookie year, Colin won in his rookie year. So it's, it's not only that we're winning races, but we're not taking these, experienced drivers. We're not bringing Eddie McDonald. As good a race car driver as he is, he's probably one of the best the series has ever seen. He's been at it for 8, 9, 10 years, and we're not taking drivers like that. We've got, if we have 3 years with the same driver, I feel really fortunate because they've either developed so fast that they move up, or they're not going to develop enough, and they get replaced. So typically we have at least 2 rookies every year when we show up at these K&N races, and there's been years where we've had all 4 of them been rookies, or at least 3. So it's a really big accomplishment for our company and for the guys in the shop. It's really something for them to be proud of. But at the same time, I'm not taking anything away from these drivers. These kids are some of the best I've ever seen, and they deserve the opportunity they're getting, and they're cashing in on it.
Yeah. Well, Jefferson, we appreciate having you on. I enjoy talking to you and listening to how you guys do things. I want to thank you for coming on the show, and we can't wait to hear who made it and who didn't, and we look forward to hearing from you guys next year, and look forward to having you guys back at Langley Speedway and covering it. So we just want to say thank you and appreciate you having you on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me on. I enjoy it. They're going to make the announcement for the drivers during championship week out in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So we'll know soon.
Now, will those guys be out there at the racetrack or at the banquet?
Yeah, more than likely, yes.
More than likely.
Obviously, a little bit of it, would depend on travel arrangements or whether or not they're in school or not. There could be some small details to work out. So I wouldn't guarantee that all 6 of them will be there, but there'll be a large representation, and a perfect world, all 6 of them would absolutely be on hand.
Well, cool. We can't wait to hear who's on and who's not.
Yep, absolutely. I can't either.
All right, thanks, Jefferson. We appreciate it. We really do.
Thanks for what you guys do for the sport, Jefferson.
Have a good evening.
All right.
You too, bud. That is pretty cool. I didn't know that they had won multiple races for 6 years in a row. And that really does say something about the program.
I mean, they identify the talent, and then they give them the opportunity to develop it,
Right.
And, to get multiple wins like that 6 years in a row.
Because, dude, I'm telling you, well, you've seen a lot of the K&N teams.
Yeah.
But if you look at all the teams and you go over there and look at a H. Scott with Justin Marks teams, it's like Cup teams, Xfinity teams, kind of per se. I mean, to put it in perspective, and Harry
maybe
Scott
the late model teams,
Yeah, and put it into perspective. H. Scott Motorsports is the 46 team, the 51 Cup team. They don't I don't think they have an Xfinity team this year. I don't believe. I know they did last year because that was the 42 team, and it may still be, but it was with. I'm drawing a blank on the 42 car. Kyle Larson ran the car, but I think they brung that in house with them. So I don't believe they have an Xfinity car this year. So they have a lot of resources, and they're Hendrick affiliated. So there's a lot of talent there. I mean, there's a lot of talent. Yeah. Jack knows a few guys over there. We went over and talked to them. I mean, they got 10 guys per car working on there, and they're running 5 full-time teams. And it's with great talent and great people. So for those guys to bring some rookies and to win a couple of races says a tremendous amount of what they're doing. Yeah. I mean, you got to give it to them for that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know who won the picks for this week, but I'm just gonna go with me.
Are you really?
Oh, I'm just
You're gonna take it away from me just like that, man. Why couldn't
it's
I have
racing,
got it, man?
Well, I don't know. Just because I said it
I
first.
feel like I just got hit in the door by somebody going the opposite way, man.
I think Clayton was going with the 2 car.
Clayton said he's having trouble watching the show.
Man, I don't know what to do. There's not a whole lot we can.
Pulaski County, you guys need to get some better Wi-Fi up there. That's
Yeah,
all
well,
I can
yeah.
say.
It could be internet because it does take a lot of internet to watch the program, and that's something we got to think about. Maybe switching up and just going to audio because it's just so much easier
Doing the podcast. Yeah.
It's so much easier for people to listen just on their cell phone. So if you got any questions or any ideas about it, let us know, or if you even know how to do it because we're not real smart. So who are you thinking about going with this weekend?
Oh, God. Does that mean well, wait a minute. I'm last, right?
I don't know. I was just giving you the opportunity
so I get
I can't even remember who I picked, to be honest.
Well, I took Kyle Busch. And the only reason why I did that is because he needs to get a win.
Jack went with Carl, didn't he?
I think he did. Yep, I think he did.
And I think I went with the 48, but I can't swear to it.
Yeah. I know he's got it written down. We'll hear about it when he gets back.
Oh yeah. He was tooting his own horn on. We were on 1490 earlier today, and he's like, "Well, we do a little race picks, which I'm winning in."
Okay.
He was tooting his own horn.
Really? Ouch.
Oh
so
yeah.
Maybe he did win.
Well, I don't know. He was. You know, we could put a mic in front of his mouth. He was talking trash.
I'm gonna take Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick. Yeah. It's gonna be hard to beat
I know
him.
it is, man.
But you know,
I need a win in the column, but.
I was glad to see Jeff had a good run this weekend. He wasn't spectacular, but he had a good, solid run.
It's hard to believe that him being first in the points, man.
Yeah, I know. You know, having Lee on the show was a lot of fun last week, and the excitement. You could hear the excitement in his voice, and they're putting all effort on that, which I mean, rightfully so, on the Homestead car. And it's gonna be neat. It's gonna be a weird race to watch, especially if he's running well, which I think he will run well. It's just going to be funny how if he's going to come out on top or not, because it's going to be tough. Because man, I mean, you look at the points. There at one time in the race, you had Jeff Gordon locked in, Brad Keselowski locked in, and the next four were tied. They were all tied for 2 spots. Yep. So right now we're at least going to have 2 spots. Depends on who wins the race. But right now we have 3 spots open, and they're separated by 7 points. So, I mean, 10th place or could put you out.
Right.
Heck, 7th could put you out. I mean, it's going to be exciting race this weekend.
To do, and that was to make it exciting racing.
Oh, it's definitely made it definitely exciting. So it'll be interesting. Man, who am I going to go with? I was sure hoping you weren't going to pick the 4.
You gave me last choice, man. See?
Oh, man.
That's his track. I mean, it's hard to not.
It is. You know? It is. You know what? And I think as a dark horse, and I hope he makes it through, but he's probably going to have to win to do it, is the 41. I'm going to go with...
That's a good pick.
Kurt Busch.
That's a good pick.
It's going to be a good pick because they share information with the 4, and they both ran well there in the spring. And I think he actually, in the last 2/3 of the race, I thought he was the car to beat. Yeah. And I think there he fell off a little bit or something happened. I think he ended up 3rd or 4th.
He was coming up.
Yeah, and him and Kevin actually share a lot of information. Those setups seem to work close together with each other. So it'll be interesting to see who's the final 4 is going to be. Right. So who do you think is going to be the 4 going to Homestead? We know Jeff. I mean, that's a given. Who do you think's going forward?
I'm hoping it's Jeff. I'm hoping it's Kyle.
Well, Jeff is in. Jeff's going to Homestead with a chance.
Kyle Busch. I hope that he's going. God Almighty.
It's hard to pick.
Yeah. You know, I need to see my sheet because I don't know how good I'm doing.
Well, I'm going to say, for me, we know Jeff's going.
Right.
And I think Jeff's going to run well.
Right.
I don't think he's going to win, but he's going to run well. Now, I think if somehow Kevin gets knocked out, I think he's got a lot better shot. And I think he knows that.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that.
Yeah.
So I think my final 4 going to Homestead is going to be Jeff Gordon, obviously. I think Harvick's going to be there. I would love to see the 78 go for a single car operation, and I think they can do it. And I'm kind of on the fence between Kyle Busch or Kurt Busch. I think one of them's in, one of them's out. I'm going to say Kyle's going. but I hope Kurt makes it. Kurt's kind of outside looking in right now. He's got some points to make up. He's going to almost need to win, or everybody else is not going to have to run that well. I don't think. Well, we know the two Penske cars. If they don't win, they're not in. Right. And I don't foresee them winning at Phoenix.
No, not at Phoenix. No.
Kurt Busch, I think he's going to run well, and he's got a shot. And then you got Carl Edwards, but I think those are the four that's going to be out to me. And I'm kind of on the fence on the whole which Busch is going to be. I think one's going to be in and one of them's going to be out. And I hope the 78 gets in. I think it'll just be great for a good single car operation. Those guys have stepped up and doing well, and had an opportunity to win the race. And actually for him, and they talked to him later that they had power steering was going out, and he thought he had a loose right front, and still kept digging. I mean, that was good. I mean, him and the two car were fighting for the lead there on that last restart, and that was fun to watch to see how bad do you want it, because that's just going to ensure your spot, And nobody wanted it probably more than Brad, and he took it very well.
Yeah.
So I want to thank Ricky Dennis for coming on the show. It was fun. Check out Arena Racing. It is definitely a fun place to watch, a fun race to watch for 2.5 hours. You can watch Joe to make some bad calls on the pits.
November the 21st.
6:30? This is regular schedule time.
Regular schedule. I want to say it's going to be...
or 7.
7 o'clock race starts. 6 o'clock gates open.
Yeah, so come in. They have meet and greet before 30 minutes early.
Yep.
So about 6:30 you can come down, get autographs, look at the cars. Some guys will let you sit in their cars.
And they got people giving away gifts and stuff like that, Bojangles will probably be down there giving away free biscuits and all the good stuff. A couple banks usually giving away some stuff. But a great time.
Yeah, for the money, you can't beat it.
No.
And then I guess in December there are going to be some earlier times, so then you'll be able to go and then go home.
Some matinee times, 2 o'clock, I think is in December. Then January we'll be doing 3 o'clock on Saturdays.
Right, 3 o'clock. So it'll be interesting how that works out. But it's a great place for you and your family can go, and if you go in the unreserved section, every paid adult can take a kid for free, if I understood it correctly.
Yep.
So that's a great thing, because I know for me when I was taking my daughter somewhere, it was always like, man, I either want to go to this or my daughter wants to go with it, and I hated to pay for both of us.
Right.
So when you let the kids in for free, I think that just opens the door, and I think a lot more people will come. And it's free entertainment. I mean, you can't beat it. So I mean, you could take a family of 4 for what do you say, $26?
$28.
$28.
$28.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat it.
No.
So go check out Arena Racing, Richmond Coliseum. I'm telling you, we should almost name it WWE or WWF because it definitely gets that way sometimes. And when we run at each other and wreck each other and flip over.
We won't have those people at the track this year.
You mean the Scott and Scott show? Well, one of us won't be there for a while. Scott, definitely the Iceman, Scott Perlman, and it's definitely his record speaks for itself. He's done. I mean, he's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, the guy's tough. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. I was telling
hardest man to pass around the track, man.
Yeah, no doubt. That's why you got wrecking.
Yep.
But I mean, in all seriousness, I was telling somebody the other day, we were talking about this whole Joe Logano, Joe Logano and Matt Kenseth deal, and I was just saying, I can speak from my perspective because I've done one of those things, and I felt bad about it afterwards. Right. I mean, I will never say I regret it because I did it. Right. And I owned up to it.
Right.
But prior to that, I made it tough on Scott.
Oh yeah.
And purposely I did. Yeah. And he wrecked me a few times, and it was his experience over my unexperience.
Right.
But after, I mean, there were several times getting close to the end of the year that I'd hear in my ear, all right, Perlman's on you, and I'd run him right down to the concrete, and on purpose, and he would wreck me. But I wasn't mad afterwards. And the reason I say that is because I knew I deserved it. I wouldn't say I was trying to wreck him, but I was definitely making it as difficult.
Very defensive.
Yeah, I was definitely making it as difficult as I could.
Right.
And sometimes I did try to wreck him, but I couldn't do it. And I mean, his experience, it tore my car up several times.
Oh yeah.
But I wasn't mad about those things, because when you try to wreck somebody and they wreck you back, that's that's what you get. That's part of it.
Karma. Kind of like karma, yeah.
It is. But it gets me where people will try to wreck each other and then they get mad at the other person. Well, if you go out and try to wreck that person, regardless whether you owe them or not, if they defend themselves and wreck you, that's all fair and game. Right. That never carried over with me. It was just that first incident that I was just, everybody kept putting salt in the wound, and I was mad about it. And Scott didn't help. Right. I mean, honestly. I mean, if we would have had a conversation, just like a lot of people said about the whole Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth thing, if they'd have just had a conversation, it probably wouldn't have festered to what it turned out to be.
Right.
And that was kind of the same thing with me and Scott. Although I did go over and have a conversation with him, but it was a one-way conversation.
Was that the foot in the door?
Well, that was the beginning of the beginning of the end. Yeah. And you got. Hey, it's just what it is. It made me mad, and I was going to prove my point, and that's what I felt like I had to do. And I think I did, and I don't think me and Scott's and we're fine now.
We had a great season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I didn't try to wreck him anymore because it was over. Right. I proved my point, and he proved his point. Yeah. And it went on. It's all fun and good.
And the fans loved it.
The fans love that crap.
Oh yeah.
And it was funny because like my first and second season, I purposely tried to get sponsors to rattle with another sponsor. But like Jason Maines, I called every ice cream company I could. I emailed, because you know what? That draws interest. And I would have went over to Jason and said, "Look, I'm gonna talk trash in front of you to you on the radio, or into the stands." Simply to draw up something.
Right.
Don't mean a thing about it, but we're going to put a good show on.
Right.
But I never could get. I emailed a couple and was like, I'll put it on here for free. You just give us some ice cream. Because I just wanted to finish in front of him and talk trash about his ice cream.
Sweet frogs.
and talk good about my ice cream and just. Right. And I just thought that would have been great.
Yeah.
Even though we would have had a fun behind the scenes joking about it, but I would have talked trash about him and made it. The fans would have loved it.
Oh yeah.
And I wish more people, because we're in the entertainment business.
Oh yeah.
In the end, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a race, but it's entertainment. I don't have to win a bunch of races. You just have to have the fans either got to love you or hate you.
Right.
And Al Pierce is one of his famous sayings is, "People don't boo a bum." Except me and Jack. He did make that clear. Me and Jack is an exception to the rule. But, you take Kyle Busch. Yeah, he wins a lot. And the fans love to hate him. They boo him. And he wears that well.
Right.
People don't boo a bum. He's not a bum.
Right.
If they don't say anything about you is worse than anything, you either want them to scream for you or boo you.
Boo you. Yeah.
And I've had
that
both.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I definitely had him boo me after that ordeal with Scott.
Yeah.
Hey, let's all water under the bridge now. I'm gonna miss not running this year. I am.
Are you guys gonna try to make it down? Yeah.
Oh, we're going. I mean, not race wise, but I would definitely come to the.
Okay.
I don't know about the other guys. I'm sure me and Jack will come.
Okay.
To some races, if not quite a few, especially if they're going to be earlier and get back and stuff. But I won't be surprised to get a phone call. I know Eric came by earlier. I said I wouldn't be.
What is he going to do? I
don't know. It's going to be tough for him. This will be his first year that he really hasn't run. But before, this is kind of funny. I'm going to say it anyway. But, he had his brother drive for him years before that, and a couple seasons they run like a half season because they tore up a lot of stuff. And I can't tell you, the first time I showed up, I'd never raced anything. I'd been around racing a lot of my life. And I hadn't raced physically myself, and people came over and says, "Man, you probably do a little something now that you ain't got your brother in the car." He had won the prize. He only run half the season, like 6 races, and won the prize for flipping over the most.
Oh no,
that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And I think I went my first season. I don't think I flipped over on my first season. I think I did go one season and not flip.
Well, that's a major accomplishment right there now.
It is, because it is easy to do.
Oh yeah, too easy.
But thanks for Jefferson Hodges for coming on.
Yeah.
Support Rev Racing. It's a great program, and it's a lot of fun, and it's neat to all the ins and outs. It's neat to learn all the ins and outs that they do there.
Yeah, it struck my interest when he was talking about the pit crew and stuff like that. But then when he said you got to get over the wall, I'm like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, it is fun, and I love doing that part. I actually used to do that, and I brung this up too on 1490. So go check out the 1490, the Outlaw, and Chuck Hall, those guys out there. We were talking about. Chuck asked me, what, I used to come to racetrack, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm still the reigning pit crew champion, 1995.
Oh no!
Yeah, they have not had it since. So
I remember that.
I'm the reigning pit crew champion. So I don't know if Jack's ever won a championship or anything, much less a race. I did. Well,
you have to finish a race to win a race.
Well, I've won a few, but I'm a champion. See, I mean, I've got my Hoosier jacket, pit crew champion, 1995. It's been a couple of years, but
does it fit?
That's a good question, Jack. That's a good question. And I did get into this whole start and park thing.
Oh, did you really?
I did. Jack was trying to skim right over that, but I didn't let him.
Did you see somebody on Facebook had posted they climbed over the fence over at Southampton
did they?
Raceway again, last week.
No,
yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I forget. God, who was it? Moody? Was his last name?
Sounds familiar.
I can't think of it now, but yeah, he posted some pictures at the track over there.
Well, hopefully one day
I know Jack
can revisit that.
Yeah. Well, he did say we were going to have a show on that. I don't know if we're all going to go and walk the track and park and where he parked at and all that good
the
stuff.
Famous spot.
The famous spot.
We'll have to get something made up and take out there before we go and put it there.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. How far is it from here? Is it that far?
No, I mean it's a little ways. It's just a couple hours.
Okay. Yeah, we need to do that. We need to hop the fence and do something.
We should
funny.
do that and get Jack to meet us out there.
Oh God.
I don't know about him jumping the fence though.
No, he'll have to. We'll have to stand where he parked at and wave at him.
We'll have to get something to cut the fence and get in or something. All right, guys. Thanks and please go to our YouTube channel. Like our videos, watch them, share them. Subscribe to our channel. We greatly appreciate your support, and thanks for 1490 The Outlaw for inviting us on earlier today. They have do a show from 4 to 6 on Tuesdays. Thanks those guys for allowing us to come on. Me and Joe here held the fort down. We got you back, Jack.
Prayers to you, buddy.
Very good. Yeah.
Prayers to you and the family.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.